A client of mine has asked for my input regarding Jira's two project types. So they now have two kinds of projects. One's called the team managed project, and the other is the company managed project. Conclusion, let me start with that. So if you only want to watch the first 30 seconds, I have never worked with a team who would not outgrow the team managed project in the first week. I might configure the team managed project type for my mom. You could use it and not break anything, but she'll never use Jira, and I wouldn't wish that upon her. I also would recommend that teams use the company managed project type so that they have access to the full feature set. I also recommend that everyone in the team should be granted project admin permission so that they can make use of the tool. And if that's not possible on day one because of maybe limited skill set or limited experience with Jira, I suggest that the team make it a goal that everyone in the team become eventually an admin and can confidently make use of its features. I also recommend that teams should consult with each other about how they use Jira. They should be deliberate about it. It's important that they establish some working agreements around how the tool will be used within the company and across teams. We're going to see some examples of the Jira projects, and I'll compare some of the features quickly so that you understand why I've come to this conclusion. But what problem is Atlassian trying to solve? I think what they're trying to solve is that Jira can rapidly become messy and polluted with custom fields, and it can be pretty unruly when people start creating their own custom workflows and field configurations and permission schemes and so forth. That there's seemingly an infinite number of boards and custom workflows, and that is a problem, I admit. I think the solution to that problem is just try to use the tool the way it's created, and then also be deliberate about its modification, consult with other teams about modifying it, maybe have a working group about, that include people that are enthusiasts and super users of the tool. Like, I've been using the tool since 2007. I'm happy to consult with others about how they wish to use the tool and how they think they might modify it, because I might say, hey, you don't need to modify it that particular way. You could do it this other way, which would be less a divergence from the original configuration. They've created two different project types. One is called the team managed project. By the way, this is not a project that a team can manage. It's just the features that Atlassian has decided that a team is mature enough to handle. Okay, that's what that means. That's what Atlassian means by the phrase team managed project. It means, hey, let's give a subset of Jira's features to this team, and within that subset, let's give them a bunch of flexibility. I guess let's all the team members have the same level of permission, and they can create an issue. They can create issue types. They can modify the design of their board, but they can only have one board, and they can only do this, and they can. So Atlassian has put constraints around this project type, and those constraints are hard restraints. You're going to hit that limit, and you can't. When you hit that limit, you're going to have to move everything over to a company managed project. So what does Atlassian mean by the phrase company managed project? Again, this is a terribly confusing name. This is a project that most Jira users will be familiar with. It has all of the Jira features that everyone has known for like 2 decades. You have access to all the features of Jira, including all the features that Atlassian has decided that only a few special people in the company should manage. And that's what they mean by company managed project. They mean just a few people in the company should have access to this configuration, and the rest of the people, well, they should not. That's not what I recommend, however. I recommend use this project type and give people sufficient permission in their system so that they can modify the tool to fit their ways of working. In a team-managed project, the team members cannot modify anything outside of their little bubble, and for any other modification, they have to go to the company's Jira admins for help. And then the Jira admins have to consider changes that they might make global across all team managed projects. Bizarre. Atlassian, I mean, really? Meanwhile, in a company managed project, the team members can modify anything and everything to which they have permission, which, if you follow my advice, they have permission to virtually everything. Let's see some examples. So I have a few browser tabs open. What I want to do is make new projects and show you some of the differences. Let's start with a software development project. Let's use the Kanban template. Again, Atlassian has decided that a Kanban template should have epic, story, bug, task, and subtask. I don't mind this workflow, but this is one of those things that a team might want to adjust. Like if you're practicing Kanban, you're going to be deliberate about the types of work you do, and they're not going to be called epic, for example. They might be called something else, and a team will want to maybe customize that. Let's start here with a team managed project type. We'll call it Kanban team managed. We'll go KBT. Oh, that name already exists because I was testing things. And this isn't the first take of my video. Now, Jira has created a project. Let's just leave it as is. We'll go create another project, but this time we'll use Kanban company managed project. We'll go Kanban company managed. And again, Jira has created this project for us. Immediately I can notice some differences. On this board, the quick filters are up here. There's a releases button. We don't yet have any releases defined, but it's there. We also have a selected for development column. And we have this components concept, which, by the way, isn't new. It's just, I think it was newly created in this project because I just created it seconds ago. But this concept called components exists in the project type. Let's flip back over to the team managed project type. Notice there's no releases concept. There's no components concept. Let's check out the project settings. So details, access. Oh, we can say, let's invite people to this project, and we can give them one of 3 levels of permission. Whereas in the project settings for a company managed project, we have detailed permissions. We can control who can do what to a much finer detail. Notice this summary where we can manage the issue type scheme, the workflow scheme, the screen scheme, the field configuration. We can also we can make use of this concept called versions and components. We can modify the roles, permissions, notifications, and add development tools, where back in the team managed project type, we have no access to that stuff. 0. We can't change the workflow scheme or the issue type scheme. We can create issues if that's of interest to you. We can add an issue type. Oh, and we have some ability to do that. Like, again, you can probably get away with a lot, but you're going to hit a hard limit when you want to do something like add another board. Here, let's go look at our work, and we'll create a board. Notice we're in the KB Team Managed 2, so that's here. But if I create a new board, and let's say I want to create a Scrum board for this Kanban project, that's a thing. You can do that in Atlassian's Jira. And we'll create it from a existing project. We'll call this Scrum board for our Kanban project. Like it pains me to even write that sentence, but there we are. And look, it's in the drop-down list. And now we have a board. We have two boards, a KCB board and a Scrum board. And that is in the company managed. Oh, I created a Scrum board for the company managed project because the team managed project was not even in the drop-down list when I created the board. Let's go back to, I got a bit lost here. Project, team managed project. Remember, I tried to create a new board, and from an existing project, and there just was not even an option to use the team managed. So a team managed project has one board and one board only, so far as I can tell. Let's try to create one from a existing saved filter. Filter for KB board. But we can't put this board into the location called team managed project. Okay, so again, why would a team want to have multiple boards in their project? Well, it's hard to explain, but it happens all the time.